What up, Bucks fans? We are back. It is Real Bucks Talk. I'm your host, Michael Plus. Join as always, my co-host, Mark Ramirez. And Mark, we're back here on a Monday talking Buccaneers football. They're about to get into mini camp tomorrow, and then they're off to break before training camp. So it it doesn't seem like football is that far away. I mean, we're only a few months out, and then we're going to be back into pretty much the full time grind. So it's pretty exciting. Obviously, we're going to discuss the Akeem Hicks signing. We're going to talk about potentially Rob Gronkowski coming back. It looks like
Yes.
that deal is going to get done, and we're going to talk more about Luke Goedeke, or not Goedeke.
Goedeke, there you go.
Goedeke is the right way to say it, as we've been pronouncing it wrong. So we've been made well known that we need to say it. Goedeke is the right way to say it. And he even said it today in his Twitter post. But before all that, guys, welcome to our live stream. We appreciate the support. Be sure to give us a like, subscribe if you haven't yet. And Mark, how are you doing? How are you feeling on this Monday? It's good to be back.
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's always good to talk Buck football. That's one fun thing we can always do. Sometimes it's Mondays, sometimes it's random days throughout the week. I guess you guys have seen our new little format we're doing, quick little videos, just recapping everything and anything Buccaneers. It's something fun that we like to do, and I think you guys are responding well. Let us know if you like it. Give us a thumbs up if you do, or hit us up in the chat. We're having fun with it, but I mean, I feel like there's always news of Bucks football or just NFL in general. And it's kind of fun to go through all this, like the ups and downs roller coaster of the offseason, of the season, of draft, of like just the drama of it. And it's an awesome kind of flow to go through it with everyone, not just me and you. It's everyone here that likes real Bucks talk and actually likes the Buccaneers.
Mhm.
And then Eric in there in the chat. What's up, Mike and Mark? Good evening. Good evening, Eric. Good to see you in
Yeah,
the chat.
good to see you guys.
But
Yeah, we're live on Bucks Report. Also, check us out on our Facebook group, and be sure to obviously go to the main source, which is our YouTube channel, and check out all our latest content. We got more content coming on the way, and yeah, we're just trying to do some things a little bit different, but it should be a fun process as we get closer to the season. But I guess let's start off with the bigger news, and that is Mr. Akeem Hicks. Let's talk about that addition. We spoke a little bit about it with our film review and also our little just instant reaction video, but it's a big move. I mean, I think you would agree this is the kind of move that we were looking for to add to the front seven.
yeah, so the biggest thing to me is he's a better true pass rusher than Ndamukong Suh was. Although I am a huge fan of Ndamukong Suh, he was huge for our run support. He was huge for leadership, which I've went countless times talking about how big of a role he had in that. Like I feel like Golson took a huge step, not because of necessarily Todd Bowles, but the leadership and just willpower of Ndamukong Suh. He turned into a whole other person once he got on the roster. So I think he was huge. I know there's some outlets saying, "Oh, it's still possible we get Sue." I highly doubt it. If it does, might as well like give us the ring already because our defensive line will be insane. Like with the interior pass rush rotation of all four of those guys would be unreal. But let's see. I mean, we've said in the past, there ain't no way Gronk's coming here. No way Tom Brady's coming here. And look what the hell happened.
Mhm.
So you never can say never, especially when Tom Brady's your quarterback. Anyone and everyone wants to play with him. So let's see. But I mean, let's see. Right here. Ben Paris said it here. What's up, guys? Is the new free agent pick means Sue's gone? And that's what we're kind of discussing. So I would wish not as a fan, but my logic says if Akeem Hicks just signed 10 million, I put in quotes because it's not necessarily 10 million incentive base up to 10 million. We'll talk about the contract later, but I just see him as a better pure pass rusher, three technique, can hit gaps. Literally, his awareness to read a offensive lineman and know where he's going to lean to and then jump into the gap that he's moving away from is insane. And it's just you see it time after time when he's healthy. When he's healthy, he is an elite pass rusher and a guy that is a hell of a man to deal with. And if you put that next to Vita Vea, you get two double teams in the middle, and then your outside guys are free range, or singled or getting chipped by a tight end only. So good luck against Shaq Barrett and JTS on the outside.
Right. And I think, when we went into the offseason, we talked about, the Bucks' biggest weakness. And you mentioned this quite often. It's the four-man rush. How are they going to improve getting after the quarterback with three or four guys? So that, adding a guy like Akeem Hicks who can win with interior pressure, that's the biggest thing they want. Uh, and obviously that was the goal. It's adding Logan Hall, and now you get Akeem Hicks to follow up that, and you add a rotation. Now, does that rule out Ndamukong Suh coming back? I won't put it at 0%, but I would definitely say it's less than probably 20%. It's probably a low number he returns, because when you look at, what he has been, and I just don't see him taking a role where he would be, not, I guess, not in the starting lineup. It would be a rotation for him. Maybe he does at his age. Maybe he wants to stay here and just finish his career one more season. But I'm leaning either he signs with someone else or he retires. And, right now he's had a pretty good offseason. Had two twins, I believe, two new kids. So,
Wow.
I
Did
mean,
he already have twins?
I think, well, yeah, I think he had twins and then he got married. So he's had a busy offseason. So, um, you
Oh, he
know,
was expecting the twins. They didn't come out yet. Okay, okay. That's how it happened.
yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be out of the question to see him come back, but I just don't feel like that's something that's going to happen, especially with Logan Hall wanting to get in there, get
Yep.
snaps as well. Plus, you have Nacho, who's a very dependable backup, and plus William Golston, who can play everywhere. So, I mean, I like it. I like the addition of Akeem Hicks. I think it upgrades what they've been needing, and him pairing with Vita Vea, I think it's a good dynamic that really the Bucks just haven't had over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, but the only way I could see Sue coming back is if he truly just wants to be that rotational guy. I mean,
Right.
Hicks needs to be a rotational guy based off of his injuries the past few seasons. Vita Vea will not play every down. You can't at that size, you can't ask a guy that big to go 60, 70 snaps. It's just not possible. He's going to go half of them. We're going to need that rotation. Does Sue say, okay, I'll take less just to do less on the field? Maybe. But like you said, I highly doubt it. But you never know. You never know. He really did like the system. He's coming off a great season. I would hope that would happen, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. But
Mhm.
either way, Akeem Hicks, let's actually look up his numbers on what he actually did the past few seasons with Chicago, which was
Mhm.
pretty damn good. When healthy again. That air quotes, it's going to get obsessive, but I mean, let's
Yeah.
look at this. And during 16 game seasons, first year with Chicago, 7 sacks, 16 games. Second one, 8.5 sacks, 16 games, and then third one, 7.5 sacks. So he's very consistent in that number when he gets that 16 game schedule. In 9 games last year, he had 3.5. So he was probably on the verge of getting around that 7, 8.5 area again. He just needs to stay on the field. I mean,
Mhm.
when he's in there, he's a game wrecker. You have to occupy him with one, if not two guys at all times, because his sheer size, look at this, 6'4", 335, your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and 32 years old, almost 33. So he's wanting it. He's chasing a championship. He's chasing after Tom Brady. I mean, the number is proofs in the pudding right there. I mean, give me an interior pass rusher next to Vita Vea that can win one-on-ones, and you just got it. And I'm very happy he's on our team.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think, one thing that was brought to my attention when talking about the injury situation with Akeem Hicks, he's been on a team that has struggled. Chicago, they haven't really uh, been very good. They've had, some ups and down seasons. I know they made the playoffs, I believe, a couple years back. So they've been kind of like, on the cusp or on the outside looking in. And, the point was made that, him coming to a winning culture now in Tampa, a team that's going to compete for a championship, you're usually a player, their mindset is we can fight through these injuries to get on the field, because, the competition is so, um, tense that you have to fight for playing time. So I think with him being on this team, there's going to be that little extra motivation to, fight through maybe the little nagging injuries that he sat out before. But again, we'll just have to see. Depends on, the player. But everything I've heard from Akeem Hicks, he's a team guy. He's a ultimate leader and really good player. So I don't think we're going to have any issues with him as far as fitting into this locker room going forward.
Yeah, and let's break down the cap situation again. So everyone's like, how the hell are we getting guys like this? Like $10 million. That's cap's crazy. Well, Hicks right now will account for just 2.39 million on the Bucks cap sheet this year. Um, let's see. And then they put some dead cap years on that as well. If Hick does not agree to extension before the start of 2023 league year, Tampa will be tagged with at least 4.9 million in dead money. So there's loopholes. We have an amazing front office that can do this. They keep pushing it down the road, putting it on the credit card, like Plus likes to say. But I mean, this is it. I mean, a lot of people, some people like it, some people hate it. The win now quote, it
Mhm.
truly is. I mean, this could be, most certainly is Tom Brady's us here. You're going all in. I think this is a win now move. Truly, I mean, it's only a 1 year contract with money down the years. I mean, if dare I say Brady does come back, but we'll see. Either way, great signing, and the cap may be fake, but it's literally the way they did it in the contract. Like it looks good to me.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, they're gonna put as much as they can on that credit card and just continue to put the best team forward and try to, obviously the goal is Super Bowl. I mean, that was our goal last year. We were so close last year. We were, one drive away from getting that game into overtime and potentially winning, defeating the eventual Super Bowl champions. So this team is right there. We come back with pretty much the same roster. I think we made a couple upgrades to the team as well. I think we got more physical and we got faster up front on defense, which is really good for the signing with the signing of Akeem Hicks, and then also adding Logan Halls, who so far is really impressing everyone at the Buccaneers headquarters. So that is really good to see, that these guys are coming in and learning pretty quickly as young players. But yeah, I got to be excited about the Akeem Hicks deal.
Yeah, so I'm trying to bring up this clip of him versus Drew Brees in that wild card game a few years ago.
Mhm.
Just the guy's an animal. I mean, that's all I can say. So just hearing him in the background, let's bring this up. Here we go. It's good stuff. I mean, either way, that
Mhm.
I want to hear that type of stuff mic'd up. I mean, Vita Vea is not much of a talker. This man can talk. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, we got Niner by Nature 88 in here, and we appreciate the support. This is a 49ers fan, and it looks like he actually played with Akeem Hicks at Sacramento City College. That's pretty cool. So he's a good dude, goofy as hell, though. And yeah, I mean, that makes sense in the video. So that just shows that he loves to have fun and he really enjoys the game. And yeah, I can't wait to see him, get after whoever the Saints quarterback is. I guess that'd be Jameis this year, and
Oh,
then
could you imagine?
yeah, just getting after all the quarterbacks in the NFC South. Whoever's going to be Carolina's QB, and then Atlanta as well. So yeah, he's got that just upbeat personality, and Chris Vasquez makes a good point here. Reminds me a lot of Warren Sapp. I mean, that's high praise, but maybe personality wise, he's talking about there. Yeah, I could see that. He's got that dog mentality that, he wants to get after and make people pay. That's for sure.
Oh, one more piece that I missed. I mean, he got a sack on Drew Brees. This is beautiful. Watch this. I hear it from you. Okay. Well, it wasn't a sack, but either way, drill him to the ground. If that was in a Tampa Bay Buccaneer uniform, probably would have been a flag immediately. I feel
Hmm.
like anytime we touched Drew Brees in the past, there was a flag, but he's out of the league. Let's keep going. Either way, I mean, we talked it all up of Akeem Hicks. Ultimately, better pass rusher than Sue. If Sue comes back, great, but this guy is an animal. Interior will be much better, especially if you can rotate him um, with Hall and
Hmm.
William Golson. I'll take my chances with that. But either way, you're getting the interior that much stronger so that you're outside rushers can get to the quarterback way faster.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, if you haven't yet, be sure to go to our YouTube channel, check out our Akeem Hicks videos. We got two of them up. One is just our instant reaction. Then we also have a film review that breaks it down a little bit better as far as how he goes about his business in attacking upfield with interior. And he'll show you that he's a very smart player. I think that's the biggest takeaway that we saw is that he's just very sound in his technique, very aware of where he needs to be on the field at all times. So I think Bucs fans are going to be really happy with him, and I think he's going to become pretty much an easy fan favorite to begin his Buccaneer career.
Yeah, and let's actually go from Hicks over to Luke Goedeke. Let's make sure we pronounce this correctly, and
Right.
let's let him say it for himself.
I'll let
Luke, what's
you
your
guys
name?
know. What's up, Bucks fans? This is Luke Goedeke here.
There he
Just want to
is.
let you guys know. Put the pen to paper today, and it's official. Officially, Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and hopefully you're gonna help the Bucks bring home another Super Bowl. Go Bucks! What's up, Bucks
Like it,
fans?
Luke. So get a key, guys.
Yeah.
Get a clue and get a key. But
yeah. As I've been saying, Goedeke, it is not Goedeke. It's going to be Goedeke, is how you say it. And I'm glad he came out with that video, and good job by the Bucs to get that pronunciation right, because we want to be right. We always want to make sure we're professional and make sure we're correct. So shout out to Steve Casper, who has got on us on YouTube about it, and we appreciate him. And yeah, we definitely want to be correct. And yeah, Niner by nature.
sorry.
Oh,
Oh.
there we go. He got it right. Yeah, pretty much that's how you pronounce it. So, and also showing us love on our film breakdowns. Appreciate it. Yes. Yeah. And we got much more. I'm sure you've seen our college breakdowns. We're going to try to get more of those out earlier in the year, before the draft, and then also our new formats where we're just going to have more shorter videos. I know you guys like that. It seems like you guys like that much more than what we've been doing in the past. So it's going to be a lot of fun just getting more content out for you guys, and really just more interaction. And that's what we're trying to create here.
Yeah, because it's great to do these 1 hour ones that we try and do like every so often, every Monday during the season. They're usually every Monday. We may be changing that format too, so stay on the lookout for that. But I mean, it's just the more we can communicate with you guys, hear your feedback, the better we can get and find things that you guys want us to look at. I mean, these film studies are great, but it's also breaking down situational things like what's going on in each room, and that's kind of fun for us to kind of go through. But here's a big point here. Pink Ranger is my wife, says the edge rush is a big problem. No team is scared of our pass rushers. So this is a big issue, and this is something we've been talking about. I'm glad they brought this up. So I can understand how getting your interior pass rush will help out your edge rushers. Yes, 100% agree with that. I'm good to go with that. I mean, this was going to help out everything. It's going to help get the load off Vita Vea. It's going to help getting people away from Devin White so he can fly down those A gaps and make trouble for anyone that's holding a ball, whether it's a running back or a quarterback. But it's also going to give one-on-ones to the outside. So you give that much pressure and attention to the interior. The outside edge guys, they may be lucky to get one guy if it's a tight end or an offensive lineman, because there's going to be so much attention to 350, 6'5", 6'4", Vita Vea, and then 6'5", 330, Akeem Hicks. So you just can't single up these guys. So you have to give two, or if not, a nudge, and then go back over to the outside. So take your pick your poison. And because Sue was just mainly power. He didn't really win with the quickness. He would just bulldoze you backwards. Sometimes people can just hold up for just amount of time. If you quickly win a gap, it's over. I mean, and you need to give that attention to guys like Hicks. Aaron Donald's just a game record. I mean, that you can't time for that. Hicks is just different, as in a guy that big shouldn't move that quick. So, but to his credit, we lost JPP. Are we going to fill a void of that? Are we going to look for, say, a Trey Flowers or some other option? I don't know. I mean, the free agency is still open and running. So what is your take on that?
Well, when I look at our edge rushers, obviously Shaq Barrett is still one of the best pass rushers in this game, in my opinion. When you look at the numbers, the advanced stats, like I mean, he gets a lot of pressures. He gets a lot of he affects the game. He gets a lot of QB hurries. He had 10 sacks last year. Obviously, there was more plays for him out there to be made. He missed a few here and there, but the guy's really consistent. And I think he is going to be even better, like you said, because of what we've added. With Logan Hall and Akeem Hicks now in the interior, that's going to help him get more one-on-one opportunities. He's going to be coming or going up against the left tackle this year because they're going to put JTS at the right tackle going up against that opposition. So I think that's going to benefit both of them. JTS on a right tackle, I think it's a mismatch for him, his ability to get off with speed and get around the corner. So both of those guys, I think, are going to take steps up. Obviously, JTS needs to because he's going to be a starter now. As far as the backups, Anthony Nelson, I thought was fine last year as a rotational player. Obviously you would like to have him as that rotational guy. You don't want to see him come into the starting lineup, but I feel comfortable with those three. I think those guys are good enough. Obviously, I would like them to add another one if they can, but just have to wait and see. There's options out there though, as we get closer to the season.
Yeah, I mean, we always say, do these guys take a step forward, take a step forward? I mean, you hope that happens.
Right.
Like, you always hope and expect it. If you're a pro, you should be able to work on something every offseason to improve. But so is the other team. I mean, it's not like it's only our guys and we should expect better. Yeah, but sometimes people kind of hit a ceiling. Is Anthony Nelson at that point yet? We don't know. I mean, if he can be what Carl Nassib was for a few years ago, I'm 100% with that. I mean, the length, the ability to drive people back, it's all there. I mean, they're very similar in every which way, and they even made him go and cover space at times, and he didn't do that bad doing it. So I like Anthony Nelson a lot. Is he have a ceiling? Most likely, but I don't know what it is just yet. I mean, if he does improve again, holy hell, this defensive line is going to be insane because he can be used in so many ways too. I like how they can be multiple with damn near everyone on their line besides Shaq Barrett, pretty much only one. But I mean, I do want one more guy to fill that void of JPP so you can get a rotation of outside edge rushers. Because if you make Shaq and JTS just go all day, you're going to ask for an injury. I don't care how young and good that JTS is looking in camp right now. I mean, you can only go so long bulldozing against 300-pounders snap after snap. And hopefully you're off the field quickly, but you never know. I mean, this is a man's game. Injuries are part of it. That's just the name of the game. So hopefully we can get a rotation. It's not just the interior, it's the outside that needs it too. Money, it's a difficult thing to work with, but I mean, some veterans that want to be on a winning team will find a way. And I think it's just that one little rotational piece. The starters are already set. That's set in stone, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And JTS and Shaq are going to play a lot. They're going to get majority of the snaps there at outside linebacker. That's how they did it with JPP and Shaq before. But again, you're asking JTS to make that ramp up and play and level, and he's going to have to be consistent. I would say, well, it'll be interesting to see how they play it out as far as who gets majority of the snaps in that rotation. If Nelson is subbing with JTS a lot early on in the year, or how that's gonna break down. But I like the group they have. I think Cam Gill's another one that could step up into a rotational role. He's shown some promise as a pass rusher. And then they also really high on this Anthony. I forgot his last name. The 7th round pick.
It's got an awesome name too. It's like two first names. It almost seems like.
Yeah, help us out in the chat. I just forgot his name. I don't know why.
Moron.
But
I forget too.
Yeah, the kid
I'm right there with you.
The kid out of LSU. They're high on him. He's done some good things so far. They feel he's going to be ready for training camp. So
Andre Anthony. There we go.
Andre Anthony. I had the last name as the first name, but yeah, Andre Anthony. They're excited about him too. So we'll just have to wait and see. But free agency, like you said, is always fluid. The roster is always moving, so there could be options come down, into training camp or right before the season where they feel they have to make a move, and maybe they do that. Leonard Fournette was
Yeah,
a mid-season addition or early season addition, so
right
there's
before.
always yeah, there's always time to make moves. Guys get cut as well. You can make additions that way.
All right, so you mentioned that we actually made a video on this. It's our last video we did, like the recap of the running back room. So if you guys want to check that out, click that, bam, right there. We break down the whole depth chart of the running backs. What do we have? How do we see it happening? But let's break it down a little bit more here for everyone to kind of talk about it, because Ben Parrish had a question earlier. And the new running back, like, how is he going for the starting position? Like, is he going for the starting position?
Yeah, talking
But
about Rashad White,
yeah,
out of Arizona State. I think he's got an opportunity to probably be the top backup to Leonard Fournette. I think Leonard Fournette's going to be your starter, but you would like to see Rashad White push Leonard for that backup role and be a guy that they can use on third downs or in passing situations, because he is a weapon as far as catching the football and being effective in that sense. The thing with him is just how quickly can he adjust his pass protection skills, and can he be reliable in that sense, and be reliable in the playbook, and how fast can he adjust?
yeah, but that's the one good thing of all these draft picks. All of them have a good head on their shoulders. All of them seem very mature for their age.
Yep.
A lot of them have kids. I think that raises your maturity as well, big time.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think you said it best. Like we mentioned it in that review, like, or that last video. You need to grasp that playbook. You need to make an influence in practice, because during the game should be slower than what you did in practice. They should be practicing every situation a lot harder so that the game comes easy. I mean, it's going to be telling. This training camp and this preseason is going to be huge for him, because Keyshawn Vaughn's had 2 years to go through this system. I mean, is it his time to shine, or is it Rashad White's time?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be tough to kind of let all that sink in and know second nature. I have to be here, not thinking on the go. And that's, yeah, as he gets production, if his pass catching is that damn good and he gets a continuity with Brady, he's going to be on the field. I mean, look what Leonard Fournette. Literally, he's not the best runner, but when he's in the open field, he looks great. But that continuity he has with Brady, the trust he has with Brady, it's unmatched. And Brady literally, I'm going to go to you. I'm going to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's his outlet. So that's why he's on the field probably 90% of the time. Rojo didn't have that. We discussed that in that review. So, I mean, Rashad White is going to have opportunities. Let's see who wins it, Keyshawn Vaughn or him. It's going to be a fun, exciting training camp battle. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good group. And, Gio Bernard, I think, can have a bounce back year, or I shouldn't say bounce back, but just a more decisive role for him. I think he'll get utilized a little bit better. So I like the 4 running backs that they do have. I think it's a good mix, a good dynamic. Everyone can kind of do, or they both have like their own strengths. Like, Keyshawn is, I think, a pretty good runner inside the tackles. And then you look at Rashad White, where he likes to get outside, use his speed, and do some different things. He can make you miss. Gio Bernard, kind of the same thing, shifty back, that can be effective. And then Leonard, like Mark said, when he gets out in space, man, he can just run people over, or he can, get around you. He has different ways of being effective. So, yeah, I like the group, and I think, adding guys like Luke Goedeke, signing him, and then pretty much signing almost all the draft picks. I think 5 of the 8 draft picks are already signed, so we got a couple more left to get their contracts. But adding physical players, Shaq Mason. I don't think we've talked about Shaq Mason enough, especially on this podcast or just around like Bucs media in general. I don't think they've mentioned him enough. I think that impact he's going to have is going to be very huge for this team. He's a really good he's a really good player. So it's going to be fun to watch him and Tristan Wirfs on the same side. I mean, that's going to be pretty dynamic for this offense.
He's not a big personality, but he plays big. Like, he's not even that big. He's like 6', 6'1",
Yeah.
300 pounds. So he's not the biggest guy in the room at all. When you're surrounded by Dalvin Smith and Tristan Wirfs, Jensen as well, almost 6'6" over there. But the thing is, he does everything correct. He's just consistent, and Brady knows him, familiar with him. Really damn good guy. If you look at any rating system, he's usually near the top of the guards in the entire NFL. Great run blocker. Another reason why we think the running game should be improved this year, not along with the tight ends they drafted.
Mm.
And hopefully, speaking of tight ends, hopefully bring back Mr. Gronkowski. Let's talk about him as well. Rob Gronkowski rumors.
Yeah.
Looks optimistic. Tight end will sign contract before camp. So huge addition.
Yeah.
I mean, we all expect it, but it's not set in stone until it's set in stone. So what do you think about this optimism?
Yeah, I think it was the plan all along. I mean, Gronk was just gonna pretty much take his time with this, and he doesn't need to be at OTAs. He doesn't need to be at, mini camps and all that stuff. Like, I think he was planning this. He was gonna be in shape. He was gonna, be ready once training camp begins. And and I think that's good for the Bucs. They knew that Gronk is going to require a significant amount of money, and make sure your roster is pretty much set before you sign him as the last piece. And I think that's how they see it. And I think Gronk sees it the same way. And obviously he wanted to make Tom Brady sweat a little bit, since Tom did the early retirement and then came back. And but I mean, we've seen Gronk in the past talk about it. He's like, I'm going to be a Buccaneer if I do come back. And I feel like he wants to give it one more go with his good friend and Tom and see what they can do.
I don't see why not. I mean,
Yeah.
the guy's still a young man, in hell of a good shape. He's still in the Tampa area. Supposedly he's in, what is it, Channel Side or
Mhm.
Bayshore all the time, just walking his dog, having fun, doing his thing. He was just catching balls in the single A Yankee Stadium over here that we have with Tom Brady hitting balls. I mean, he's here. Might as well just put pen to paper. Let's make sure you're here for one more year at least, and let's make a run. Because, I mean, looking at the offensive firehouse or firepower we're going to be able to provide, insane. I mean, you didn't really have to upgrade, and you did. Russell Gage is going to be a huge addition. If you bring Gronk with the room that you have, look out. I mean, Brady will have his choice. I mean, I know Ellie Marpet leaving is a big deal, but you're going to have a competition for left guard, but you upgraded your right guard. So
Yeah.
I guess you shifted the other way.
Have you guys seen Ali Marpet? The guy, he's
not this way, but this way.
yeah, he's swolled up, man. He got that O-line weight off of him real fast. And I guess that's how it goes with all offensive linemen once they retire. Yeah, I mean he's looking good, and I'm happy for him. He looks like he's having a great time. So that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, so actually I wanted to talk more on that about the additions because Ben Parrish up here was talking about it. Where it is. Here we go. So definitely curious to see what the receivers are going to light it up in camp. Excited to see the Gage addition.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit of that. That's probably going to be our next video, the wide receivers. I guess who are you excited to see, and how much is Gage going to be, I guess, an influence on this offense?
I think Gage is going to be, I mean, we talked about it before as how Russell is going to bring that element that the Bucs wanted to have with Antonio Brown, but Russell just brings no nonsense. He doesn't bring that drama diva attitude. He comes in and works hard, and he's going to, be very productive. And I think Tom Brady's going to love him instantly. I think that's going to be a connection that we'll see early and often. Especially, we don't know if Chris Godwin's going to be 100% by the start of the season. It seems like he's on course to make the season opener. I've heard from Cyril Grayson that he's on track, so that's good news. But yeah, Russell I think is going to be a huge player for this offense and how he can be utilized. And really, he's pretty much a really damn good number 2 receiver. Like, and you're putting him as your slot guy now, and he has opportunities to play outside or inside. And I think with him and Chris and Mike, it's a dynamic trio where all guys can play pretty much anywhere you want them. So I think that'll be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, again, we have videos of everyone pretty much. If they're a Buccaneer, we're gonna have a video out within a week of who and what they bring to the team. But
Mhm.
Russell Gage can be a Swiss Army knife, literally, like Plus said, Antonio Brown type without the attitude. He's trying to make a big influence on the league and show his worth. He got a big contract. Let's see it.
Mhm.
$10 million a year. Okay. Show me with Tom Brady, the best quarterback there is, what can you do? And Matt Ryan trusted him. He got used in the backfield, end rounds, deep, short, intermediate, anywhere you think about it, he was used and succeeded. He can make people look silly when guarding him because he's just so shifty. So
Mhm.
he can do the little screens, the wide receiver screens. He can do just about anything you want. And yeah, I think that's a guy that Brady's going to like. Dependable,
Yeah.
an athlete for his size too. He's only like 6 foot, maybe 200 pounds, but
Mhm.
the guy can get up. If
He
you
just he
videos,
just gets he gets open. Yeah,
yeah,
he just gets open, and I think that's the biggest thing. Like, he just finds ways to get open, and even if he's not open, he can make contested catches, which makes him very hard to defend. Like, he's just very sure-handed
mm,
with the football, and he's just a very smart player at that. So, yeah, I think it's just again another typical Buccaneer addition. I think he's still pretty young, still, right? I think he's what, under 28 years
100%.
old. Like, not too not too seasoned yet, but he's got that experience where he can definitely make an impact. And yeah, the receiver room, that's one we're going to talk about.
Six
Um,
foot by 190,
yeah,
26 years old.
26 years old. I mean, right in his prime. So when you look at it from that standpoint, 4 really good years with Atlanta, and he got better each season. So, and you look at all those catches, and you look at the catches, the catches per targets as well. So that means he's pretty sure-handed, and he does a good job of just making the plays that come to him. But this this receiver room is just very strong, and I think you're going to see some guys make comebacks that obviously weren't talked enough about last year. I think Scotty Miller is going to be. I think he's going to have an impact. Brashard Perriman, Cyril Grayson, and then you have Tyler Johnson, Jalen Darden. There's a lot of guys in that room that I think could any of those guys I think could step up and be productive.
What's crazy though is you hear these names that were in the rookie camp and these little voluntary camps, like Jareth Stearns and Devin Tompkins, shorter guys with speed, shifty, play bigger than they are. They're really short, 5'7", 5'8". But then you have our returning cast who are
Mhm.
all good in their own sense. They just need to stay away from injury, like Scotty Miller. Rashard Perriman, when was asked and not injured, he produced. I mean, everyone remembers the Bills winning touchdown. Jalen Darden, what does he do his second year? Does he improve? Does he take a step forward? He already looks bigger in practices. So, has he matured his body? Is he getting the playbook better? Is he going to play more based off of reaction instead of thinking? Let's see. I mean, they traded up for this guy. They're going to see if he can fill a void, fill a role. Cyril Grayson, when he had his opportunity, dude lit it up.
Mhm.
And it's just there's so many options. It's kind of hard to say, oh, we need somebody. We need something in the wide receiver room. That's why we couldn't believe that people kept saying we need another receiver. Why? Why draft one when you had all this prior to the draft? You had all this.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't understand it necessarily. And then you get these young guys here, speed demons. I mean, I think this wide receiver room is loaded. It's been loaded. And then you added some key like deep threats. Say if Cyril Grayson does get hurt and you need a guy, Devin Tompkins or Stearns, that can kind of blow top off a defense. We'll see. It's gonna be a fun preseason.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait for preseason. Obviously we talked about the quarterbacks over the weekend as well with, Kyle Trask and Blaine Gabbert, who's going to be the number 2. Tom Brady. Yes. Andrew, Tom Brady will be at the mini camp tomorrow. I know there's a lot of talk about Tom Brady and his underwear thing on Twitter
That was
today.
funny.
I mean,
Giselle got him.
Giselle got him. So obviously Tom Brady is the total package.
No pun
As
intended.
yeah, no pun intended. But yeah, Tom will be there tomorrow. Yeah, pretty much it should be full attendance, I'm expecting, especially with new head coach Todd Bowles in the building, even though he's not new, but still you want to make that good impression. So probably expect 100%. So that'll be nice to see. And yeah, the receiver room, it's just going to be fun to watch. I think you're going to have a lot of interesting battles. Jalen Darden is one guy I'm looking at. Like, can he, take that next step from last year? It just seemed like the game was just too fast for him, and hopefully he makes that adjustment. And I would love to see him win the return job and really be productive at it. And I thought he showed flashes where he had good returns, but can we see that consistency going forward?
Yeah, he did play scared at times. Big time played scared. Like the speed of the game was a little too fast for him.
Mhm.
And he's a speed shifty type of player. So, but look at the level of play he went from. That's why it's kind of scary. Like
Yeah.
we always draft these smaller school offensive linemen, and somehow they do so well, like immediately.
Yeah.
People think every position should do that. It's a little harder. Jalen Darden didn't really get much playing time, didn't get much continuity with the quarterbacks. He started so low that he was with Ryan Griffin, Kyle Trask, Blaine Gabbert. Oh, then you throw him in there with Tom Brady. That's kind of hard to get the timing down and everything. And then Brady doesn't take any mistakes. Make
Yeah.
one mistake and you're a rookie, you're getting the hell off. So that's why Rachaad White, again, another situation where you better not mess up because he's not going to have it. You may not get the ball back again if you mess it up. So, I mean, maybe the game is starting to slow down for him. Playbook's under him. Body's right. Maybe he's going to improve. Well, you don't know. No one
Mhm.
knows. But that's why training camp and preseason is going to be huge for him. And again, wide receiver room is loaded. How many make the roster? A
Yeah.
lot. Uh,
Yeah. I think there's a good
like the
chance
answer.
I think there's a good chance they keep, 6 or 7 guys at receiver. And it'll be, again, it's just an interesting dynamic because Tyler Johnson's another one that can he take his game to another level that, he showed, again, another guy that showed flashes, but he just hasn't really been consistent with his, getting open as far as route running and then catching the football.
He's the one that drops balls.
Yeah, so catching the football and just, being on the field as well, being in game shape, being mentally ready, being at the right spots, all those things. And again, these guys are still very young, though. They're still young players. I mean, Scotty Miller, Tyler Johnson only in what, third, fourth years coming up. So, just hope you see that improvement and hopefully they take the next step. And then you have guys like Cyril Grayson, who's a late bloomer. He's like 28 years old, I believe. And just came out of nowhere and really took, those last couple of weeks by storm.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Schmidt here saying, could Scooby Doo get traded or cut? I mean, I doubt it based on his ability on special teams too, continuity on the offense. Traded, possibly, but I still think they could. Push comes to shove, they would probably keep Darden on the practice squad and see if he would get picked up or not. But Scotty just has value in a lot of places. He can be a gunner. He showed he recovered a fumble in that Eagles playoff game. He can be a makeshift returner if Jalen Darden doesn't pan out. So I don't know if Scotty would ever get traded or cut. I'm more thinking of him as Tom Brady's deep threat again. A healthy Scotty Miller would be insane for this offense. I know Brashard Perriman may be above him in some people's eyes, but in my opinion, that connection was so insane. His first year, Tom Brady's first year here. Let's see if that connection can come back again. I mean, that would be lights out. And then you got Russell Gage in the slot beating one-on-ones. Mike Evans getting his usual double teams, and Chris Godwin everywhere. Like it's difficult to cover. And then you have Gronk just manning anyone up and winning. So take your pick your poison. Like I said earlier, it should be a fun offense to watch, especially Tom Brady's third year in it.
Mhm. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Tom Brady's 3rd year in the offense, and obviously, continuity is a big thing, and they're gonna have a lot of that, so that's good. Up front, you're gonna be pretty much solid. Obviously, the left guard position with, Luke Goedeke and Aaron Stinney, that's gonna be a great battle, to see. Maybe Robert Hainsey enters the picture, but I feel like they wanna keep him as the, reserve, backup center. They're kind of grooming him to be that heir apparent to Ryan Jensen. It seems like so. But yeah, a lot of interesting battles. But yeah, receiver, we can't wait to talk about that. That's probably gonna be our next video coming out here later in the week, and then we'll get into tight ends, offensive line, and then finally get into the defense. So yeah, a lot of things to discuss, but can't wait. As the season gets closer and closer, it seems day by day as we get going here.
This is exciting for us. I don't know if you guys see it or hear it in our voices, but I mean, the day I think I just saw, I don't know if it was on Twitter or somewhere, where it's like 100-day countdown to kickoff. 100 days. We're under 100 days right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. I mean,
Yep.
so like right around the corner. But Andrew also said plus the tight ends, considering how many wide receivers should make it, and then we just drafted 2 tight ends. Do those 2 tight ends make it, including Cam Brate and Gronkowski if we sign him back too? I mean, that's 4 tight ends in the room.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think those. Yeah, you got to think those 4 tight ends make the team, especially with the special teams factor, because O'Keefe is going to be a core special teamer, and then Kate Auden is going to be on special teams as well, probably. So those 2 playing special teams, I think, is going to be big for them. And also, how many of our receivers are going to play special teams? Scotty had to start playing special teams because that was way for him to get on the field. Tyler Johnson, same thing. He started playing special teams. So yeah, you just have to. That's really what it comes down to. How many guys are going to play special teams? But yeah, I think it's going to be a heavy group at receiver and tight end.
Again, this is something we said a couple of years ago, or last year and the year before. It's a deep team, so it's going to be hard to keep everyone. Yeah, like Chris Schmidt was saying, could he get cut? I mean, it's possible. I don't think it is likely, but it is possible. I mean, I wouldn't like it whatsoever. But I mean, how deep the team is, like some of these guys are going to try to be put on the practice squad and get taken up. And you hope that doesn't happen, but that's the way of the game. You can't just herd every good player on one team. First of all, you can't afford it. Second of all, it's just not possible. But I mean, because if you keep that many wide receivers and tight ends, how many defensive players are you going to have to rotate in and out? We're just talking about the rotations of keeping these guys healthy. You got to keep balance on both sides of the ball. So it's a good problem to have, but it's a problem nonetheless. So
yeah, I mean, you look at it. Is this the year they only keep 3 running backs? Do you cut one of that group that you have on your team now? Tight ends. 4 or 3 offensive tackles. It all comes into how you want to play it. How does the roster break down, and how does your special teams look? Because really, that's what your main backups are going to be, and you got to have the right numbers. You got to have the right amount of linebackers, and you want to make sure you're not too slow out there. You got to make sure you're fast enough. So,
speaking of, like you just said, like offensive line. I mean, I know we signed Fred Johnson to be another tackle, but I mean, the ability that Robert Hainsey has to play multiple positions matters who wins that left guard position. If Robert Hainsey's your backup, he can play center and both guards.
Right.
Like that's very valuable and something you would want to have in your back pocket. So you don't have to carry 2 guards as a backup. And you're pushing your luck, but still, like that's a way to kind of occupy space. Like a guy that can play 3 positions as your backup, that's pretty damn good. I mean, Fred Johnson and Josh Wells are going to compete for that backup tackle spot, if not both. Because O'Keefe could probably be that secondary or 6th lineman that we use so many times. Either Josh Wells out there. What if you don't necessarily need Josh Wells out there to block? You can actually have a pass blocking tight end out there.
Yeah.
And that would make sense for his argument to make the team.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's all about in this league, it's how much can you do. So if you can be more versatile, if you can be more effective, you have a better chance of making the roster. But it definitely excited to see how this mini camp goes and who we hear from, and obviously the news and notes that come out of it. That'll be exciting to see. And obviously once we get into training camp, which is going to be late July, we're hoping to see a couple practices, so that should be fun. And obviously, gather some more insights on how they're lining up certain players, how many, what kind of packages are they using. Todd Bowles has talked about utilizing some new things on defense, some new scheme things. Obviously, offense is going to be slightly tweaked, but still, it's still going to be a passing team, and it should be exciting. I'm excited. I'm ready for this season. I wish it started tomorrow, but we can't rush the process. We have to take it day by day, and you got to trust it and you got to enjoy it. And that's what we're doing here on Real Bucs Talk, and just can't wait to give you guys more videos as we get geared up here. So it should be a lot of fun.
As Kyle Trask says, keep stacking the days.
Yep.
Keep stacking them.
Kyle Trask looks really good. That's probably the player I want to see the most. And
yeah.
I think a lot of Bucs fans would agree, like just seeing him and see how his progression has come from last year to this year. How much more comfortable is he going to be? And you would like to see him earn some reps with the second team and see what he can do with a little bit more talent around him. That should be just awesome to see, and I can't wait.
Yeah, is the mental processing better? Is it quicker decision making? Is it delivery faster? Even though it does look like it in his film on these highlight videos, his body looks more in shape. It looks like he got the baby fat off.
Yeah,
I mean, he's taking it serious. I love when they asked him a question. What do you think of Tom Brady coming back? He didn't even mention Brady. He's like, he did what he wanted to do, but I'm here getting ready. I'm here preparing for my time. I loved the answer. And because I hate that they always ask everyone, Brady, are you going to do it for Brady? You going to no, I'm going to do it for myself because I want to win too. Media is just pushing the Brady narrative. But again, this is a team game. I guarantee Brady's the same way. Like, push it off. Just who the hell cares? These guys want to win because they're winners. They're competitive. It's not just for somebody else. It's for them, for the whole team in its entirety. So just funny to hear every media member ask that question and then to have him with a mature answer saying, I'm here getting ready for my time too.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows he's got the right mindset, the right attitude. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how he progresses and what comes of life after Brady, and if he's going to be that main guy. You just hope he gets that opportunity. I think he will. But again, that's down the road. We don't have to worry about that as of now. Yeah. Main thing is just him just continuing to get better. I think that's the biggest focus for him. But yeah, a lot of guys I'm very interested in watching. Obviously the rookie class is always something to focus on and how they do. Certain young players, do they take the next step? JTS, Sean Murphy Bunting, Jamel Dean, do they continue to get better? Devin White, does he become more consistent in the fact that he might be asked less of him, like as far as less to do on the field? Can they just utilize him in a more simple role and let him be the guy that he was in 2020? That'll be interesting. So yeah, a lot of stuff to keep our eyes on.
Or one rookie that no one's really talking about because he didn't really have a full season last year, Cade Otton. He's going to probably try and slide into that OJ Howard role. I mean, OJ, before he got hurt, was doing pretty good in that role. I mean, does Cade Otton kind of slide in there, be a good blocker, and then somehow start catching the ball? Like, we'll see. I mean, Cameron Brate isn't the best blocker. We all know that, but he's a really good pass catcher, and he can be used in different ways. So Cade Otton's going to see the field. I mean, he was a 4th-round pick. It's not that low of a pick. It's not that high of a pick either, but I think he can be used and valuable with a Tom Brady who likes bigger tight ends, big option. I mean, again, does he get the playbook? He seems smart, very mature player. We'll see. But that's
Mhm.
another one to keep an eye on. A lot of guys keep an eye on this damn team. So it's gonna be a fun year, I think. A really fun year.
Right. And let's get to a question here by Edward. This is a good one. I think it's going to stay the same. He's talking
Yeah.
about the number of practice squad players. I think they've already made it official that they're going to keep it how it has been over the last couple of seasons, where you have more versatility. You can bring guys up and protect players and all that stuff. So that should be a good thing. And we,
Sadly, it's not over either. I feel like
yeah,
it's just not necessarily just because it's not over, but people were like literally NFL is gonna be slow in doing it. They're not gonna just literally be like, okay, go at it. I mean, there's still people wearing masks all over the place, which
yeah.
isn't. I know it's getting annoying, very annoying. I hate it too, but
Mm.
I mean, it's gonna be at least one more year, I think. To
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta play it safe, and you gotta be, they want to protect their players, and
Yeah.
that's what they're gonna focus on. Um, but also, one last thing before we roll out of here, haven't really talked about it, but the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to is this special teams getting better, and you know, because I look at the punter that we drafted, another, fourth
Yeah.
round pick. He's got, he's got a lot of pressure to be good right away. And I think he is going to be an upgrade over Bradley Pinion. I think he's going to be what they need at that position. And also the kicker. Like there's going to be a battle at kicker. Like a lot of people aren't talking about. Ryan Suckup is getting older. He did struggle with injuries last year. So maybe he's more healthy this year, and maybe he can be better as far as the longer range field goals go. But they have this kid, Jose Bergalis out of Miami, who they really liked.
Got a
I know,
leg.
yeah, and I know I'm probably going to get Steve's going to get on me for that pronunciation, I'm sure. But I
Morgellons?
yeah, Borgalis, yeah, I hope that's right. I'll hear about it from Steve, I'm sure, if I'm wrong. But
God, I hope so.
but they're really high on him. Again, a kid out of Miami. They protected him all last year on the practice squad. They didn't want to lose him. So it'll be interesting to see like if he can make his way as a starter, because he's got a hell of a leg. He can make, 50, 60 yarders. And that's something that really as an offense we kind of didn't have last year. Like if we stopped at a certain amount, like certain distance, we had to go for it or, hit the punt.
I mean, I agree with that. And I mean, there's three phases to football. It's not just offense, defense. That's also a big part of your teams, special teams. Missed kicks can cost you a game. Let's be honest. Like my man Ryan Suckup missed a kick in that Rams game.
Mhm.
If he makes that, we're in the lead.
Yeah.
You're preventing them from scoring a field goal, not to get a touchdown to win it. So, that's just one of the parts. So if your field goal kicking is better, I mean, that's points on the board. Punting game, it's your positioning for your defense. Can you pin them back, help your defense? Because if you're at home, your home crowd's gonna be screaming as they were last year. You can't hear jack shit, and kudos to your defense. So can they pin them inside that 20? This Georgia boy seems like he's pretty damn good at placing the ball where he needs to place it. Let's see. I mean, Bradley Pinion was kicking them out of bounds in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You can't have that. And I don't care about this and this. His whole season when he was injured. I don't do better in your off season and preparing for yourself for injuries. You don't get hit that often. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you getting hurt from? But that's an outside source, not seeing it from the inside. I'm just being a stickler. We need to get improvements on that special teams. So hopefully these two guys can improve on that. If anything, there's going to be a monster type of iron sharpens iron, and the best cream will rise to the top, and we need that. And then the return game, let's see who wins it. I mean, you want Darden to win it, but let's see. We still need a better return game as well. But to be honest, our coverage game, I like it. I mean, Britt played lights out.
Grant Stewart,
great. Hair on fire type of player. Like JTS was playing in there. Did someone else help in that situation? Because JTS can be playing more.
right?
That void. So
Yep.
Gunners, You're hoping it's Zion McCollum,
Right. Get more speed on the field.
right? So
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean, there's a whole lot. There's competition everywhere. If you look up and down that list, there's so many good players, and there's going to be so many positions that people are fighting for because this is a deep playoff team. Let's put it that way.
Right. And you look at like Logan Ryan and Keanu Neal, those guys are going to be playing special teams. Like they're going to be adding to that group. So you're going to have some heat seeking missiles out there, which is always good to have. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching that closely. That's going to be, it's been a bugaboo of mine over the last couple of years.
Cold sore, if you would say.
Cold sore. Yes. Yes. That's a real Bucs talk code word, as we like to say. But yeah, it's gonna be something. So anyway, guys, I think we've talked about pretty much everything. Obviously, the big news, Akeem Hicks, really excited about that. Gronk potentially returning. We feel he's going to be back. Luke Goedeke was signed today. Make sure it got that pronunciation right. And yeah, a lot of good things happening. Mini camp starting tomorrow for the Bucs. But big thank you to all who joined us tonight. Appreciate the support. Be sure, give us a like, comment down below what you think. What can we do to improve? Can I be a better host? Can Mark improve? Mark does everything well, so he doesn't need improvement. Yeah. But we appreciate all of you guys. We're going to get over 4,000 subscribers, so that's a big milestone for us. We appreciate it. It's all because of you guys. So everyone have a great night, and go Bucs as always. And with that said, until the next one.
Go Bucs, y'all.